YouTube, welcome to my channel. I just wanted to come on here to just let you guys know that cheaters are always liars. Whether they lie by not giving information, or they lie giving you misinformation, or they lie by allowing you to believe something's true when it's not. So there's different degrees of being a liar. Either way, cheaters are always liars. You may think they're in this place and they're really somewhere else. They may tell you they're going to a certain place and they're not. Or you may think that they're going to work and they're not. That's a personal story I'll probably talk about. And so there's different ways that people can lie to you. Cheaters always lie. I've heard it said that the side chick is in the best position because she always knows the truth. She knows where he is. She knows, when she's home. She knows when he's at work, and she knows, things that's going on in his life that his significant other does not know. However, because he's not lying to the side chick doesn't mean he's not a liar. He's lying to someone else. And that is the issue of morals and character and personality. And it's up to you to decide for yourself if you want to separate the person from the myth of who they are. My goal, as I mentioned in my previous videos, is to help you become a better you, to help you be a stronger individual and hopefully make better choices and decisions if you haven't been. And so that's my purpose. And so I'm only saying that to say someone can present themselves a certain way for a long time, and they get away with it because you're not with them all the time. You don't know the ins and outs of their daily life. And so I just want you to be aware that everything is not always what it seems. And if you're able to take away good things, then you can still do that. I do think a person's character eventually speaks for itself. I'm gonna leave that video here. I'll just reiterate before I go. Cheaters are always liars. Serial cheaters are always liars. And there are different types of cheaters. I know I just said I was going and I'm still here. There are some people who it's called a carryover. You've been in a relationship with someone a long time ago, like teenage years or your early 20s, and you end up not being around that person. Either you move, they move, you go to college, they leave for a job or something like that. And so those feelings were never resolved. But as life goes on, you kind of just forget about this person because you're doing your thing, they're wherever doing their thing. And then you end up in a relationship and you love someone, you care about them, you're committed, and then you just happen to run into this person, or out of the blue, they contact you through a mutual friend, and all those feelings for that person come flooding back. And then you find yourself reliving those moments from yesteryear, and you end up being intimate with this person. That's called a carryover. And then afterwards, it may be like, oh my gosh, why did I do this? There are situations where it continues, and then that just creates a whole cycle of behavior and series of events that follow up on that. And then there are people who actively look for people to cheat with. There are people who will hang out in places where they think they can pick up men or pick up women. They present themselves a certain way. They may target certain audiences. They may target certain populations. There are men my age, I'm 51, and they have a preference for women in their 20s, in their early 20s. They haven't lived life yet, so they don't know if you're bullshitting them or not. And you tell them good things and they fall for it. And then they're with you, 3 or 4 or 5 years and realize you've been manipulating them and abusing them emotionally and verbally the entire time because they didn't have anything to compare that relationship to. They were with you and they didn't have a reference point for, is this supposed to be happening like this? Is this supposed to be this way? And when you're a person who commits to someone, you tend to tolerate a lot of nonsense, not realizing that they're not committed to you. They're just committed to your presence. And really that presence can be anybody. So it's like you're not really anyone special. You're just the one that they were able to lock down into that situation. And then there's the other kind of cheater is someone who they really don't look for it, but they get approached often just because of whatever reason, because of their status, because of their job, because of the way they look. And they're just bombarded with messages and people wanting to talk to them and be with them. And then their head gets bigger and bigger, and they're just like, yeah, I can be with this person. There's nothing wrong with that. Even though I have someone at home, you know, these other people keep, you know, sliding into my DMs. You know, yeah, I'll go for it. And so some people give in that way too. And so I'm just saying this to say there's different reasons that people end up being unfaithful. Regardless of what the reason is, they're all liars. If they're not lying to you as the side person, they're lying to the significant other they have at home. Also on the heels of that, which I will talk about in other videos, are polyamory people. I am a polyamorous, and I will re-upload previous videos from my other channel onto this channel. Some people use being polyamorous as a way to just sleep around, which is actually called polysexual. So there is a difference between actually wanting to build and maintain healthy relationships versus just wanting to screw around because you can. So that's another video. That's another topic. So if any of this is interesting to you, leave your comments below. If you want to hear more, because there will be more, go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell. And I appreciate you being here. If you've been on either side of infidelity, I would love to hear your experiences. I would love to hear what you learned from it, either as the cheater or the one being cheated on. And I do have some personal stories about that topic as well. This video is getting long, so I'm going to go. You will see me in the next video.